Right, we're running real late, so welcome to Bragging Rights episode
23?
23.
Is it 3?
24.
Season 3, episode 23, yeah.
Oh, what Craig said.
We don't have time for mistakes, James.
Sorry.
fact check
Sponsored
full
by
time.
Comscaf and hosted at Tribal. How's everyone doing? Good, well done.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
go.
rugby. I'm here late, so we're rushing. Sorry. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, I can't complain.
Cool, that's enough.
So,
No?
I knew I hadn't paid for the Humber Bridge, and today I got the letters for each way, so it's a double fan, so that was frustrating. I think I got flashed on the motorway coming home on Friday night from Manchester.
Was she fit?
Well,
guy.
I feel like it's going to cost me 3 points and a hefty fine with the points I've already got. I might have ran the red light at the top of Holness Road with the red light cameras.
What is wrong with you?
We should stop driving.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, and then Rovers lost. So
We did.
I just want to point out that I don't pay for the Humber Bridge.
I also went to go see Joanne McNally on Friday night in Manchester. She's an Irish comedian. She's very funny. However,
very funny.
her target audience is not straight men. It is the gay population. She's big with the LGBTQ community. They love her, and so do gangs of women. When I say 99% of that venue was not straight men, I was getting a lot of looks of like, why is this guy here? And her and the support act, who was this Irish fella, they was both hilarious and I loved it. But talk about when you don't fit the demographic. You don't fit in, but I loved it, it's great. But obviously, points on the way,
Fair enough.
possibly.
Abel, James Abel, how are you doing?
Okay.
Just, okay, are you shortening yours because he took the piss?
Efficiency.
Efficiency, all right.
Well, James left me yesterday after 4 holes of golf, so why don't we talk about that and waste some more time?
I mean, it is coming out with the FC Wigan conversation, so we could do that.
Nah, we got quite a bit to talk about, I think.
Okay, fair
Some good stuff. I'm all right. We sold our house after 7 months on the market. We are happy. It's also why I'm late. Let's talk about FC versus Wigan. I'm pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird one because if we'd have done this at half time, I'd have been buzzing my tits off.
Yeah.
But
If you'd have done it with about 5 minutes ago, you'd have been buzzing.
no, still maybe not. No, the result was a culmination of a much improved Wigan in the second half and maybe an FC in the second half that lacked a little bit of leadership.
Fitness.
I wouldn't even go to fitness. No, I wouldn't say fitness. I think a lot of it was leadership. Personally, I mean, you might.
I'm not sure. I mean, all our leaders technically were on the field, I guess.
Well, the ones that are fit.
Well, no, but okay.
Asiat has a huge influence.
He's the only one I'd say you've not got playing right now who I would consider a leader of your squad.
But I
There's
would,
good players, but they're not necessarily leaders. Is kind of what I was getting at.
even though he's not the captain, I would say that Asiat's influence when he is on the field is arguably the biggest.
No, I don't disagree, but you have got leaders on there. Caesar's meant to be a leader.
Yeah. Hardacre was back after.
Hardacre is a leader, particularly with the young boys.
Oh yeah, I get that. I'm not saying we didn't have leadership on the field. I think we could have just done with a little bit more. And Asiata, when he's on, not only does he offer that leadership, but he offers that composure as well.
Oh, I completely agree.
So,
I'm just genuinely
think it-
shocked that you both have took the positive side and have are pleased because it's such a big missed opportunity. You're not going to find a Wigan team play that poor for that long for much of this season and give you opportunity after opportunity. And it's similar to Wire not that long ago. You had an opportunity to put these games to bed and didn't, and I kind of thought you'd come on today and be really disappointed and be like, we should have won that, because you really should probably.
It's one of them, innit? I think respective forms going into that match. Someone says you lose by 4. You're probably going to take that, even as bad as that is to say you're going to take a loss.
Yeah, let's all look at Man, for example. I predicted Wigan by 40. And I was confident in that prediction leading into it. So, you know, if I'm going into a game and I'm expecting us to get absolutely demolished and we put in a performance like that and come away with a loss by 4 to arguably one of the best teams in the league, albeit, yeah, a little bit inconsistent they've been this year, but still one of the best teams in the league.
There were some extenuating circumstances, though, weren't they? From the Wigan perspective.
Yeah.
They started badly and then they also lost 2 forwards in that heat. That's a lot out the engine room.
Especially when one of the bench forwards is Mago,
Yes.
who didn't do big minutes.
No.
You're not going to get a Wigan performance many times where they play that poorly, they lose 2 forwards in that heat, they have to have Mago play them big minutes, and Kieran's only going to kick 2 out of 6 from the tee.
Yeah, that was
who's got one of the best percentages in the league. I think he's only second to Reece Martin, but he's made more kicks. Yeah. And that's what I meant about that missed opportunity, which I thought might have you down a bit more. So it's good that you're positive.
The performance is still encouraging. There's still, we didn't lose that because of lack of effort or anything. That loss there is lack of talent on the field because of injuries. They're big players in that second half. Once they tied themselves up after the poor first half, what member of their spine didn't have a good second half performance there?
We were speaking earlier in our chat that you two are in, and
imagine how miserable them 3 in an FC only chat is.
We were talking, and I mentioned about potentially like leading into this and trying to treat it as a bit of a shit sandwich, like good, bad, good, because I think there's more good than bad, and I get there is an argument for potentially doing a good sandwich and having shit, bad, shit. I do get that, but I think because of where we've been for the majority of the season, how we performed in that game especially, against that team, I can't argue that it has to be a bit of a shit sandwich. But there is shit. There is some bad stuff in there that we need to work on. There's some individual stuff that I think got pointed out to me that I agree with as well regarding one particular player, and I feel fucking awful for mentioning it, but we will have to talk about it. But I think to begin with, the main thing for me was, I mentioned it earlier as intensity, and you correctly pointed out that it's not intensity, and I think Dean then corrected it as aggression. And our defensive aggression was worlds away from where it's been for the rest of the season. Our line speed this season's been dreadful. Our contact has been dreadful. Our meters after contact in attack has been dreadful as well, and our play of the balls. But I think the main improvement that we got from that aggression this week was line speed and defensive contact, and Wigan weren't ready for it. As much as they played bad, I think a lot of their errors, especially in the first half, came from they weren't ready for what they came up against, because they were expecting to run at the same slow defensive line that we've offered all season, and they got, we're in your face. You try and catch that ball, I'm there.
But it has to be managed in the correct way, and there's a prime example where Harvey Hill didn't gave away 2 penalties in a row that directly led to one of their tries, and in that game Wigan couldn't get up the field without making an error or doing something stupid, and yet pretty much every chance that they did manage to get into your 20, all they had to do was pass out wide and they'd score.
Best goal on defence though, Josh.
Obviously, best goal on defence, right? But that's all that had to happen.
Why are you mentioning? You're on my side.
And I think that you're right, and I love the positive spin in it, but I just think that, for me, I know we don't have long to talk about it, I think you found out a lot of things this weekend that were probably perhaps known, but they confirmed it, for me at least. I think Caesar has to move on. I don't think he's offering enough. He had a good game, but I don't think he's the answer. If you want to stick with Arthur, Caesar has to move on. You obviously need to get injuries back. I think some players are really showing their age. I think Tom Briscoe is starting to show that. And I think that if you get that fit squad, I think when McNamara comes in, I think big changes are needed. And I think some of these so-called leaders and some of these older heads that have the experience have taken it too far this season, and they should move on. And then if you can harness the power of the youth and keep them fit, get them to stick to position, stick to the defensive line and not rush in, I mean, you can do that. But this year, and this game in particular, the team kind of folded under that pressure. And I don't think there's an argument to be made that the ref took the game away from you. I think he made some really bad decisions. I mean, you can easily argue the Briscoe tries a try, but they also took away a perfectly normal try for Smith that wasn't forward. And then I think across the board, the poor refereeing went both ways. It just probably felt harsh against you guys because the game went against you in the end, and it evened up in the second half where you made more penalties and errors than Wigan did in the first.
I just want to point out, I don't know if you were, I wasn't going to mention the ref. I wasn't going to mention the ref at all. I'm not saying he had the best game, but
no, it wasn't anything egregious. It was almost the timing of when the penalties came. like for both sides, obviously Wigan got less. They got penalised more in the first half when they were playing badly, and we got the same thing in the second half when you maybe want to get away with a bit of extra laying on, or when you want to get away with that extra niggle. Do you know what I mean, or something, just to try and slow the play down in that heat. Neither side, I don't think, really got it. I don't think it was much in favour either way, to be honest. But
I didn't. I just thought, it's a common thing at the minute, and I think that there was definitely some egregious decisions, but I don't think it's really worthwhile adding that as the main factor of this game, because I think that, as I say, big missed opportunity, and there was a lot more to that game than the referee.
There is, and I'm just going to move on now to my little shit bit, and I offer apologies because I know his brother listens to the pod.
Me and Craig don't support this at all.
yeah, because it's the FC section.
No, I think it got pointed out to me, and I have to agree. And I don't think this is going to be the case long term. I just think this is the case now, at his age where he is. I think this game, for me, showed Moyes' inadequacies of where he is currently as a player. Now, I've said this for a long time. I'm very much a fan of a pivot style one. Your Price, for us in the past, Connor, Rankin. I never was a fan of Shaw. I never liked that running. Shaw did all right because he had time to grow. As he got older, he got better. I think, for me personally, a fullback should be an attacking link within the spine. As it stands right now, and I think this is not all because, but a lot of it's down to the fact that he's been thrown in at a young age, potentially when he could really do with a bit of time in a championship team to play the game at a bit of a slower pace. Moyes not a link in our spine. He is the end of our spine when he gets the ball. He gets the ball, and that's where the attack ends. And I think a lot of it's because teams know what he's going to do. He's going to catch the ball, he's going to try and run it, he's going to do a little juke, maybe a couple of metres further back than I think he maybe should, maybe do it a little bit closer to the line. But it shows to me, I think he shows to me when he plays, he's got the talent. He's definitely got the talent. I think he could do with a bit of time out, which he's not going to get because we ain't got players because they're not fit. A little bit of time out and playing at a top-end championship team. Your likes of a London, a Featherstone if they come back in. That sort of team to give him a bit of time around some decent players, but in a bit of a slower environment so that he can develop that skill of, I've got the ball, I'm part of this spine, I need to think about the other guys. I don't need to just catch this and run. And I think that's all we're getting from him at the minute. And I think it is because age and the fact he's been thrown in it at the deep end.
To take the joke side out of it and just to answer that, because I think you've explained it well in where you're thinking.
And I'm trying to explain it in a really nice way because I really like him.
You don't
and I know
want to lose him. And you don't want to lose him. But yeah. I think, in all fairness, comparison to Shaw is very apt. One of the reasons that Shaw was so successful, especially when you went back-to-back for the Challenge Cup, is because you had a dominant pack, right, that didn't get injured. So Shaw had time to develop in season and grow into that. You didn't have the injury crisis that you hit in the last few seasons. That plays a big part. One of the reasons that Moy is unable to be that extra link is because there's nothing on for him, and you're playing players out of position. So it's not as if he's getting the ball out wide and he's always got a Barron to go to. Yeah. He stood there going, one week it's Hardacre, the next weekend it's not. The next weekend, all of a sudden, Briscoe's playing there. The next weekend it's Isoloni, right? Yeah. They aren't getting that, and that's fair. I think the second piece to that, which is more about where you think it's fair in saying that he's a young guy and he's going to develop, that's got to be the long-term goal, and that's something for Steve McNamara to say, and that's, is this our next full-time fullback because Price is going to play 6, 7, whatever, or is this actually, we don't see him as a first-choice fullback, and then that's where the question rolls. So I think you're being really political about it, and you do rate him. The final
I'm trying to be because I don't want to be nasty because I do rate him.
As a rugby guy talking on a podcast, trying to do a bit of a deep dive onto it, which I think people appreciate. What Hull fans might not like about that is
They're seeing so much energy, so much effort, and so many good performances from him. Repeat player of the matches, repeat player of the months for the club, because the heart and the determination's there. And he does find gaps, he does find line breaks, he does look like he's the one that's up for it. So Hull fans and casual observers are like, how can you say something negative about this guy? What you're saying, in my opinion, and I agree, you're thinking, no, this guy could even be so much better. Let's think long-term success, not right now in a beaten season. So I actually think your point's quite fair, even though you're a knobhead and you shouldn't be doing it. We love him.
And that's the thing, though. Like we can't just do this and just follow what everyone's saying in the stands. We have to do this, and we have to give our honest opinions. We have to, really keep an eye out on these players and see what we think, where they can improve. Because if we just sit here and blow smoke up everyone's asses, no one's going to listen. No one's going to appreciate that.
No one's going to believe you.
No one's going to believe us. But I'm getting told we need to wrap up. Is there anything else you want to say?
Nothing more. No.
Nothing more. All right. Good to see Herman start. Getting better week by week. Still a long way off. Hill went really well against his old club. Couple of lazy penalties in the second half. And Martin, I was really impressed with Lewis Martin. He looked really lively. Couple of half breaks. Really impressed with him on return.
Just needs to remember to stick to his wing and trust his centre and not get sucked
Shut up. Cut it off.
Bragging Rights is proudly sponsored by Comscaf. Hull's own Comscaf have been keeping things safe and steady for over 30 years, providing professional scaffolding services nationwide. If you need a team you can trust for your next project, big or small, head to comscaf.co.uk or give them a call on 01482 782 181.
Well, after that positive 10 minutes, let's bring the tone down a little bit and discuss how it goes.
Do you want to start positive and just say how fantastic the M&D stuff at the beginning was?
Yes.
I thought it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
They always do the M&D rounds right now. I thought it was lovely. I loved having Burrows' kids come out to deliver the match ball. I found it emotional watching his mum, bless her. And I thought that entire thing was so nice and so lovely. And it was an incredible, positive experience for the opening of that game.
It was just perfectly done from start to finish, wasn't it? Which we criticise Rugby League a lot about this sort of stuff and how we could do better. That is a massive, massive step in the right direction. It was beautiful, basically.
Yeah.
That's the only word I can think of to describe it, but it was beautiful. Go on then, we're going to have to get onto the game, aren't we? So we said last week about us needing a statement win, didn't we? And, probably two of the touted favourites for the grand final are Rovers and Leeds, but it just was anything but. It's just, after the first 20 minutes, I thought we muscled in really well that first 20 minutes. Obviously, we give a few silly penalties away, but we was in the game, and then Leeds just got loose, and then utter domination won it. But I just don't know what it is with playing Leeds.
I don't know what the problem is.
They have our number.
We beat them.
I know. They have our number, we've said that, and there's evidence. I agree, I thought the opening 20 minutes, I sort of looked at them when they're playing 1 to 17 starting players. It's the M&D round. It's at Headingley. And I thought, we're matching this. I thought they were the better team. It was like 55 to 45%. I felt
it was close,
in it.
wasn't it?
And then after 20 odd minutes, we reverted to the usual, which was mistakes, errors, doing the wrong thing. And it all sort of fell apart. And I wasn't actually overly disappointed at the end of it. But I was a little bit, obviously, I was gutted to lose. One of the things that, I'll bring it up now because I didn't really know where it fit, but I was reading the comments online and this came from a Salford fan and I sort of really resonated with it. I kept talking about needing his performance and what can Rovers do. Said, I get the feel, it's a Salford fan online, send him off, diabolical, he's called, great name. I get the feeling Rovers have climbed the mountain and half the Sards don't have it in them to do it again. So I sort of read that and I went, I don't like that. And then I immediately went, maybe it's a bit egregious saying half the Sards. But I definitely feel, I like to have that choice, I definitely liked the idea of it though, because I would say it does appear to be that. I think that partnering with the fact that I think we're distracted by Peters leaving has added to this poor run of performances. We're not seeing what we saw last year at the World Club Challenge, and we're yet to see that performance that would make anybody now say, I see Rovers as a grand final contender. I think it clearly goes, Wigan on the day, Leeds, and then possibly Rovers fared, maybe could maybe there's some that are getting close to that, but they're probably in that fair position. But performances like this carry on, we're not going to. And then the only thing is, a Rovers fan came back, big sexy Matt, and said, as a lifelong KR fan, it's absolutely worth it. I've watched us get pumped by Leeds for decades, and I doubt we'll see many more quadruple trophy sides again, right? And I went, great comment, that's brought me right back down to reality. I said this before, we said we wanted a trophy this year, that's the mark of success, we got the World Cup Challenge. After that, as long as we're up there competing, and we become a team that's constantly in the top 4 to 6, and we have a dig and we get to finals, I'll be happy. And it made me really calm down post-game and go, actually, that kind of describes where I'm at.
Yeah, when you put that sort of outlook onto it, it does make it, obviously, yeah, we're not reaching the heights we reached last season, but it is still positive. We've won a trophy, which, if you listen back to the pre-season one that we did, we said, where do we go? We said a trophy, being up there and still making finals. We've won a trophy and we've reached the only other final available. Yes, we got hammered, but we made that final, and we're still going to be looking at it. We're still going to be in that mix when it comes to it, providing we can sort of pick up a few more results and performances, and obviously a lot of caveats to it, as you like to say.
It don't mean we're not disappointed in performance and disappointed the way it's going, but in the same vein as you guys looking for the positives, I do have to keep reminding myself of the highs of last year a little bit, because it can be a little bit hard, and you think I used to fear playing Leeds, and I still do, because I do think they have our number, but I'm not, all circumstance involved, I'm not really mad about it.
Just going back to that, you mentioned the Challenge Cup final, and obviously we all know what happened. It wasn't great for you. Obviously, I obviously follow your results. We do the podcast together. How would you rate yourselves or the team since the Challenge Cup? Have you noticed since the Challenge Cup that it's gone down a bit? Has that maybe been a factor, that defeat?
Definitely the performances have been substandard, shall we say.
A bit lacklustre.
Yeah, compared to what they maybe were before, and also definitely compared to last year. But yeah, since that Challenge Cup final, we have it a sort of what's the opposite of a purple patch? You know,
Yellow.
Yeah,
Literally the opposite.
We've hit a bit of a non-purple patch.
Yeah, a non-purple patch. And I think that does happen. You know, like you said, there's a lot of factors surrounding it. Last season we had a fully fit squad for pretty much all of it. This season we've got a few more injuries to a few more key players. Not as bad as you. Okay,
no, I just think we have players that are carrying knocks. I think that, you know, in answering the question, I think the other thing as well is we're still getting the wins against the lesser sides, but we're now finding the top 6, or the pretty much agreed top 6, tougher games. And that's part of that development of the team for next year, under the new coach, what we need to do there is who needs replacing, who has gone a step too far. And it's what do we do to maintain as a constant top 6? So the games against Wakefield, the games against Leeds are going to be tougher games, but you still expect the 2 points against your Yorks, your Castlefords, your FCs. But in that top 6, we're now finding them tougher, whereas last year we was expected winners. And I think that's a step that you've got to take, and you learn about your squad. I also think, in answer to a direct comparison to the Wigan and the Leeds game, in the Wigan game, we understood that a lot of our game plan revolves around one of the men in the middle that does so much graft for us in Dean Hadley. We lost him very quickly. We also lost him very quickly on Friday night at Headingley. And unfortunately, that's how rugby goes. You do pivot around certain players and certain game plans, and sometimes it's not your half-backs or your full-backs, your loose man. Sometimes it is just the hard-working second row that does the graft in the middle, that sharpens up, that's a leader for you.
Yeah, definitely. And earlier on you mentioned about the errors, you know, the lack of respect that we seem to have for the ball, which is something I've mentioned the last couple of weeks. We don't seem to be respecting, well, I can't think of another word for it, so I'm just going to keep using the word respecting, but you know, we're throwing silly passes, we're doing things that we didn't do last season. You know, we played the moment last season where if it was there, we played it. Now we're trying to force it, and it's not coming off, and we're being found out a little bit. And 11 handling errors, which led to a 78% completion rate. You're not going to win a game with that, especially in that heat, and when you've lost players. And then you look at the flip side to that led to us making 40 more tackles than what Leeds needed to do, which is pretty much 7 extra sets. And again, in that heat, Leeds played to the heat. Obviously, both teams were playing in it. I'm not saying that. Leeds played to the weather. They did what they needed to do in that weather. Excuse me. And the line breaks as well, 8-2 in favour of Leeds, which just shows their dominance in the game, because I'm not taking anything away from Leeds, they were absolutely superb. But 8-2, when you're constantly turning round and chasing back, that saps a lot more than when you're already running forward.
It does, and there was a comment by the commentators very close to the end of the game.
Oh, doing the job.
Yeah, and they said about there was a kick that went in. They went, even the bounce of the ball's not going Rovers' way. And I thought it was a bit of an unfair comment. The bounce of the ball could have gone our way. We'd still been beat and well beat. There was an element of truth to it. I thought very early on there was Oledsky just grabbed Mikey by the scruff of the neck and pulled him down.
Oh, we didn't go for that.
I don't understand that's not 10 minutes. Later in the game, Reece Martin is on the back of repeat infringements by our team, so he gets 10 minutes. Yet they then put 2 late tackles in a row on us, which is repeat infringements. They don't get 10 minutes for it. And the Mikey not quite being out from the kick that was quite deep, he caught it just before his foot went out. Half a second later, that ball's gone out on the full, we're taking it from the halfway.
Not to mention the fact it was a knock-on.
Mikey's getting the blame there. We blame Mikey obviously for his kick not finding touch. To me, Connor knocks that forward.
It goes forward and bounces backwards, so I can see why people are saying it's gone backwards.
The fault lies with Mikey there. But it's interesting that all of a sudden in this game, what you didn't hear, you hear about did Mikey turn up. No one's mentioning again Mikey's great defence. In a big, tough game where both teams, for me, were 50-50, niggling, being aggressive, overstepping the line a bit too much, taking it too far at times. I mean, Mikey didn't have this on a bingo card, picked up and dumped Ryan Hall. Right? Literally dumped him.
That's
right?
bang out of order, that. Ryan Hall's a pensioner.
Yeah, well, I think he does appear past it to me, but no, on that day, when you're not up to standard, you're not going to win the game anyway, and stuff doesn't go your way as well, you just sit there and go, well done Leeds, because there's nothing else you can say, and I do think they are a genuine contender.
Probably the favourites for me.
I don't think it was all doom and gloom, though. I think that the biggest takeaway we've got to be a bit frustrated about were 2 things for me. The first one is Dean Hadley's HIA. He obviously won't be able to play in the derby.
How Tom Amon passed, but Hadley didn't.
Well, the interesting
He had longer.
Yes, the interesting thing with
I
that
did
is...
say that to Laura, to be fair.
Because there's only one doctor, you can only do one assessment at a time. He selected Dean first, don't know how that works, but he selected Dean first,
Dean went
failed.
off first, I think.
Yeah, that must be it.
I think that's what
then
it
Tom
was.
Amon, I don't believe Tom Amon looked like he'd actually passed one when he came back on. He had a great effort, he dug in, don't get me wrong, but he didn't look like he was 100% to me.
We said this about December in the grand final 2 years ago, didn't we?
Yeah. So anyways, he passed the test, came on, heavily bandaged as he was. And I mean, the other piece is, to be Pangai Jr., he allowed himself to be wound up, especially by Jake Connor. He was involved on the wrong side of the grit and the niggle that I say both sides are doing. The hand in the face that, for me, Connor milked, fine. Mikey milked one not long after. He's got a 6-game ban for. Now, I don't believe there was an eye gouge. I will say that as a Rovers fan. I generally don't think there was. I think it was just a facial that we're seeing. I think that the RFL are setting a dangerous precedent there. You see that every game, multiple times. The hand in the face does not stop happening in every game, and they've obviously taken a hard line on this and said that's what he's done. I think TPJ has not been playing himself into a Rovers shirt for us yet. He's had limited minutes and limited games, and he hasn't proven to me his match fit or that he's there, but he's shown some promising signs. He's now going to miss 6 games. So if this guy's trying to play himself into a shirt for us or somebody else next year, he's not doing it the right way.
Just on that, I mean, we were chatting about it during the game, weren't we? And I said at the time, it looked like more of a rake than a hand in the face. I don't think it was worth 6 games. If it had come off with a game, maybe, but it did look more like he put his hand on, his fingers were curled and he pulled. I didn't see him intentionally put his hand in anyone's eyes. I wouldn't call it an eye gouge personally, but I saw it as more than your typical palm on the face pushing yourself up, because his fingers weren't straight, his fingers were bent. But I still,
if it's 6
games is a joke.
If it's 6 games, I want Ashworth retried for last year's elbow on Mikey.
Do it, don't play for us, I don't care.
Because that was 6 games. You're telling me they're comparable?
Not all.
I'll finish one point and I'll pass to you for time. What should be said that I thought in positives were, at 60 minutes, because I wasn't at the game when I was watching it back because I was busy, when I saw it was 30-8 at 60 minutes, how we ended up only conceding one more try in 20 minutes in what I thought was probably one of our worst 20 minutes of the game is shocking, which gives me positive as well. And what must be mentioned, and I just think it's worse, there was 18,456 fans there. That is the biggest attendance of the Super League so far this year for any game. It's also the biggest attendance that Leeds Rhinos have had since pre-COVID. Now, they expect this to be beaten by a Wigan and Saints derby later in the year at Wigan, I believe, is the estimation. But I think that should be celebrated. Big Rovers travelling, really good for M&D round. It was good atmosphere. It felt something special in the air, which I think the commentators kept saying. So, yeah, really good. But ultimately, my message to Rovers, if anyone listens, when you're putting yourself in the position to defend 22 extra sets a game, you're not going to win the game. Over to you, Craig.
Yeah, fair. And just quickly, because I didn't get a 50p on the Pangai Junior one, anytime you put your hand near an opponent's face, you run that risk. So, stupid of him. And not only that, he was stood over a player, I don't know who it was, and then...
Connor.
Was it Connor? No, I'm not about the eye gouge. He was stood over him,
don't know.
and Kendall said you're on very, very thin ice. And then Sevo got smashed into touch, and he was doing it again literally 5 minutes later. We don't need that.
Yeah, that Pangai smashing him into touch was like fantastic. It was made by Hiku making initial contact, and then it's May's effort combined with Tavita Pangai Jr. that smash him into touch, and everyone's loving it. The Leeds fans are giving him it. He's getting the fingers, he's getting the swear words, he's getting sprayed. And I get it, it's a bit WWE for me though. It was great to stand over the player because people do that, but at the same time, if you've been warned, and also it came to nothing because Sevo ended up scoring 2 tries.
Yeah, final point then, we have to give credit to Leeds. They were just unplayable on the day. Quick roundup then, women's lost 6-46 to Cardiff Demons. The reserves lost 24-26 to Bradford. The Scullers also lost, so not a good week, 6-52 against St Helens. And 2 from last week I mentioned about, I couldn't find anything with regards to the PDRL or anything along those lines. The day after we recorded, Rovers put something on. The Wheelchair lost 68-42 to Widnes, but the girls got back to winning ways. The under-15s girls beating Culture Eagles 18-14.
Quick fire news from around the world.
News from around the world.
Thank you. Just because it came out last week, so we didn't get to talk about it, but just everyone should be aware now, Hull KR have finally announced that the coach from 2027 onwards will be Nathan Kalis, a very well-renowned, great player in his time, one club man over in the NRL.
Parramatta.
With Parramatta, yeah. He's got an incredible pedigree as a coach. He spent some time with some great teams, helping teams to grand finals, league leaders, and also been part of State of Origin setup. So we won't know till next year, but it feels like Rovers have done a very due diligent process and they've got the man they want. Only results and time will tell. York, as people might be aware, was announced this week that they asked for a 50k bailout payment to help with some cash flow issues that they had. Now, there's a lot going on with the club. They actually only got half the funding that other Super League clubs got for this season. People pointed out originally and said this could be a risk. All I will say is that coach Mark Applegarth has come out to say that one of the things that's never worried him since he's been in charge of this club is the financial side. That nothing has ever bothered him and he believes that this will be sorted quickly. So, can take it with a pinch of salt, but there's the head coach of the club saying that he's not worried. It's a short-term issue. So we'll wait and we will find out. And then finally, sticking on State of Origin that I've just mentioned, it appears that former Wigan player Trent Barrett, quite well renowned around the sport, is heavily tipped to be the next New South Wales coach. He's got a wealth of coaching experience in recent years at Manly, Canterbury Bulldogs, Parramatta Eels. He's currently an assistant under Michael Maguire at the Broncos, but it looks like that announcement will be made probably post the third game on the Wednesday, the 8th of July. So we'll wait and see. That was quickfire news from around the world.
We've not pre-recorded this. We've had this planned for a while, but next week we should have a pre-recorded one of these, so I can stop through it. Thank you to Travel for letting us be here, and DOS. Yeah, they're making funny faces behind the screen. It's putting me off.
We've got no vodka.
We've got no vodka, yeah. Oh, is that what they're doing? Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Stop.
So, sorry. Right, so Travel's
Travel
really
sell
good.
lots of different drinks. They sell beer, they sell things like San Miguel and Carlin and Madrid. And then if you don't like beer, you can get cider or Guinness. And then if you don't like that, what
spirits.
you can also do is you can buy spirits. And what spirits do they sell? They obviously sell things like whiskey and they
Jack
sell things
Daniels
like
and-
gin, or there's so many options. But
Rum.
what
They
we
sell
like
rum.
to talk about, what James will talk about, is
Vodka! Toffee vodka, to be precise.
That is not my fault.
Classic, indulgent and smooth. 7 vodka. All that for
7
10
gold.
seconds.
7 gold.
7 gold, whatever.
And the fact that the bottle is empty is not my fault. I have not drank it.
And that is proper empty, that. I might just finish that off. Yeah, so thank you again to Tribal for letting us stay here. Don't forget, if you have a season ticket for FC or Rovers, you get 15% off if you've got a bill that's got food and drink on it. Every Super League game will be shown. Every England game, if you're a football fan at the minute, will be shown, regardless of what time it kicks off. Hopefully, as long as they get Sunday sorted. Yeah, Sunday sorted, okay. Council being difficult, who'd have thought. Yeah, get your backsides to Tribal and watch some football, watch some rugby and drink some 7 Gold vodka. We're not having an advert now? Oh, all right, fair enough. Comment section! I thought I'd have a gap. Right, I sent you guys a comment. Did you all look at it?
yes.
Did you all have a think about it?
No.
Who'd have thought that you've become the new me. The other letdown.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right, so Kenneth Binns, another great show, lads. Got one question. If you could sit down and have a chat with 2 rugby league players, one past and one present, who would they be and why? Craig.
I'm going first, am I? So,
you're
Roger
fairest
Millward.
away.
Just has to be Roger for me as a Rovers fan. Can't not be. It's just fascinating, isn't it? The journey he took and how somebody from a different city or town or whatever it's classed as can become such a legend at another club, and how does he feel he achieved that sort of thing? That would be sort of the crux of the conversation. And present, I'd probably say Willie Peters again as a Rovers fan. I didn't have a chance to think about it too much.
He's not a player.
Oh, does it say player?
Rugby league
Well,
players.
technically he was.
Past and one past, one present.
No,
Come
okay
on.
then. Oh, present. I don't know. You've got anyone?
Just say Dean Hadley. His wife runs the show.
Laura's changed.
He's not here. Stick with Willie Peters.
Yeah, I'll stick with Willie
there we
Peters.
go. We're in a rush.
I like your idea. I like your idea of Rovers legends. You go back. Thought about Millwall. I'd quite like Clive Sullivan personally. There's a few names I thought about Matt Broadhurst, but yeah, I'd go Clive Sullivan. Clive Sullivan. I think that'd be fascinating. And then I'd trouble the same with present, because I kept thinking these players in the NRL that have retired that you'd probably class as past. Like, who wouldn't love to sit down with Darren Lockyer, Jonathan Thurston?
Andrew Jones.
Yeah, Johnny. Andrew Johns. I'd probably quite like to sit down with Paul Gallen. And people like that. But if we had to go present, I thought, no, let's be honest. Who would you like to pick their rugby brain? And I actually think it would be quite fascinating right now to sit down and speak with Nathan Cleary. I think him or Delicher Evans, just because.
Don't like Jerry.
Yes, but they've stayed.
Reading my notes.
They are at the top of their game for a long period of time. And really, it's not my final answer. I'd like more time to think on it. But I'd probably be going across, I'd be going down under and trying to find one of these players that have kept at it for 10, 12, 15-year careers, or people like Cleary that are looking like they're going to be up there for a long time. And I think it'd be fascinating to understand how they see the game, how they prep, how they train, and how they live their life around being a rugby league superstar. Because it's different gravy compared to over here. And I think it'd be fascinating.
Past player?
I didn't have that much time to think, Jimmy.
God, you people that work. Why do you go to work? Just do it. To add up. All right, we'll let James skip. We'll let Abel skip. This is confusing, this. We're both called James. I don't
Jim
like
skip.
it. Let Abel skip. You've pissed
Jim
me
will
off
skip it.
because I was genuinely, not even lying, I was going to go for Clive Sullivan and I was going to go for Nathan Cleary for pretty much the same reason. I think it's just because we're born on the same day.
And we're both massive Rovers fans.
Clive Sullivan, for me, not just because of what he did, not just similar reasons, coming from somewhere else and coming to a city that adopted him as his own, but obviously Clive Sullivan had other things on his back at that time, especially in the age and the era in which he was playing. You see racism around now, Imagine what it was like back then. And then he went cross city. That's always a massive thing. So Clive Sullivan would have been, you know, that guy that I would have gone to. And Cleary, obviously, for me, because in terms of NRL players at the minute, he's the top dog. He still is. Like, and there's more exciting players to watch down under. There's more exciting players to watch, you know, in the Super League. But Nathan Cleary's right up there. So yeah, I would have gone with both of them. And
people comment, tell us yours. I'm interested.
Yeah, I would like to know.
Good question, that.
Not just who, but why. Why do you want to speak to that player? What do you want to know? What questions do you want them to answer? Give us a bit of detail, a bit of something to read, because Abel does nothing at work, really. And I do nothing.
Including reading our messages in the group?
Yeah.
Can we revisit it next week and I'll have an answer?
What did you say? What did you say? Past player Eggy? Yeah, all right, yeah.
I'm a bit pissed off none of you picked me, but, you know.
The Canadian International.
The Canadian International.
Did you play for Little America? You've never mentioned it.
I just got to try. Against Bosnia. What are you laughing for?
Rugby league powerhouse.
Tries to try, innit?
I know, but just sneaking in for Bosnia.
The Rugby League heartland of Europe.
I've got another question here. I can't find it now.
Oh dear, that was chaos.
Do you want me to talk about what alcohol tribal cells for a bit longer while you find it?
No, we got a no, I'm not asking that one because it's awkward at the minute. There it is, Gary Lee. I'm asking this because it's Gary Lee, and what a great guy he is. Which do you think you could throw further, a baguette or a naan bread?
Depends who we're talking still, who we're talking
rush,
fresh.
Gary, we're in a rush. Straight up answer for me, naan bread, you just frisbee it,
Frisbee it, yeah.
It's got to be.
Naan bread,
Naan
definitely.
bread.
It's got to be a naan bread. And we did have one more, but it was Mother Hindley sent it. Yeah. Why are you wearing an Argentina top? Sorry, I've got ADHD.
Only been here for an hour.
If you could be a character from film from your childhood, who would it be? And as a point to Craig, it's perfectly acceptable to have ice cream on a hot pudding.
No.
Right. So the question.
I did say hot pudding, didn't I? Not on its own.
Yeah.
Because Lauren messaged me saying, you're a weirdo, don't like ice cream on its own.
Laura's a weirdo, she's with
Lauren.
you.
No, he was just ranting about, because I think everyone else was sort of like, I do ice cream on a hot pudding, it's nice,
no,
and you was just
weird.
like, you don't like it.
Yeah, it's just weird.
So character from a
Drop Dead Fred.
character from a film. Oh yeah, it's not a cartoon. So yeah, character from a film. Drop Dead Fred.
Fred.
When I was a child. Oh, my hero was, I loved Westerns, it was John Wayne. Whatever film he was in when he was a cowboy, I loved it. Sons of Katie Elder, the best Western for me. There you go, John Wayne in that. James is not able, he's not. You had a childhood.
You are
Right.
You are a part of this podcast now, right? You have to start taking part. I want to know scores for predictions, and I want to know what frigging character you want to be from what frigging movie.
Can I just say a little quote about Abel? Because this is something that comes up all the time.
Is it about him leaving golf after 4 holes?
No. I did do that, he abandoned me. That when there was kids, because I didn't grow up with Abel, obviously, as we said before, but when some of our other mates played rugby with, when they grew up as kids and they got a new PlayStation game and everybody fought over who got the controllers to play, Abel liked to read the manual. that quote has come up so many times. So if people that are getting used to seeing Abel, who's on here hosting more regular with us, and you want to figure out who's this guy, what's he all about, he's a bit of mystery, that's the type of man my mate Abel is.
For me, character, I'm stuck between James Bond and Buzz Lightyear, I'll be honest. Like, I can't. Well, one can fly and one's Bond.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One can fly and one's Buzz Lightyear.
They can fall with style. I'm going to go Buzz Lightyear. What's next? Put an advert on.
So, monthly cause this month. Obviously, this episode will drop on the 1st of July. So we are on to July's monthly cause now, which I'm leading this because it's something I'm raising money for. So, as you may or may not be aware, there is a 10k run for MND in East Park on the 12th of July. Obviously, it's a case that's very close to my heart with knowing Craig for a long time, and a lot of listeners I know who know Craig. Tribal have had some dealings with the MND events. and things like that. It's obviously it's a horrible, horrible disease. It devastates families and just takes away what people are. So every donation, anything you can give, even just raising awareness of it for us would be absolutely massive. So it's going to be the first run for MND that's going to be held in Hull. But Craig and Alicia, his wife, are looking to make it a regular event, hopefully, providing this one goes all well. There was 350 tickets available. That has now been increased. The council have allowed more capacity for this, so it was sold out at 350, I'm aware. And it's now being increased. So tickets are still available if you fancy doing it. If you don't, then just get down and just show your support for this horrible disease. It's a family fun day as well, so there's things like tombolas, entertainment, food and drink stalls, games, much more there. So yeah, basically get down if you can. If not, just spread some awareness or just donate any little pennies that you can. There'll be a link in the description. And I believe, Jimmy, you said you're going to put a QR code on as well at some point.
Yeah, so I've just asked Susan to leave it on for a second. What you will notice is at the bottom of the screen, because we've had a bit of a rushed session today, the QR code from last month, which is Otto and his family, is still there. By all means, we'd love it if you'd still scan that. That'll keep repeating for the rest of this show. From the next show onwards, we'll have a QR code at the bottom for Craig, and what we will do now is we'll go to an ad break.
No. Just to mention that at Tribal as well, they have got a bucket for donations for MND and for this run and for Craig Escrow. So if people are passing in for a bite to eat, for a pint, to watch the football or rugby, there is a bucket where you can put your donations in at Tribal as well.
Any loose change, sling it in. Every little penny helps. It's going to go towards a great cause, which we always seem to find on this pod.
And now we'll have an advert on screen that will show you a QR code to scan for Craig.
Derby preview then.
We'll start where we need to start, with the question that Mike Abel's father sent in. We've made it very clear that the KC, the circle...
No, this is Magic Weekend, not the other one.
Oh, yeah.
You can
That's
save
in a few weeks.
Yeah, you
I'm
can
still
save that
mad
one
about it, though.
for
What are you
down
mad
the
about? Is your dad mad that he's a Rovers fan and you're on here as an All FC fan?
He took me to FC matches as a kid, so it's his fault.
Did he?
Yeah.
So Mike Abel's an FC fan?
No.
Sounds
No,
like it.
absolutely not.
Hey, did you see a weekend? There was a girl in a Rovers top in the Wigan
Yes,
fans.
it's
And,
Paul Cook's daughter.
well, was it? I thought, and then there was also a Rovers fan in the FC stands wearing a Hull shirt, but he had the Robins tattoos
Yeah.
on his leg. So
I'm hoping that's like a
I
stag
think
do
he
or a
lost
dare
a bet,
or
or it was a
something.
stag do, yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so the girl, like you
Again.
mentioned there, Josh, Paul Cook came out and clarified on X. Basically, his daughter has a friend who's a Wigan fan, and they like to go to the alternate games. She turned around to her Wigan fan friend and said, "I'll come, but I will be wearing my Rover shirt." Hence the photo. So yeah,
Fair enough.
Wear your club colours?
yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of, I'm just going to go off on a tangent. What's your opinion on wearing club colours at international fixtures?
Yes.
Yeah, I quite like it.
No, I disagree.
I don't think that England create nice kits, and I think it's really nice. Like when I was at the games last year, was at Headingley,
The Samoa game.
and it was
No, the
that
Australia
when I
one.
went to the Australia game,
yeah,
last year,
yes,
yeah.
it's really nice. You walk around, oh, there's a gaggle of Huddersfield fans there. Oh, they're wearing Batley shirts, or oh, they're all wearing their amateur club
Yeah,
shirts.
I like that. 'Cause
I'm just asking because I know it's football, but I saw a guy the other day on Twitter getting absolutely roasted for wearing a club shirt to an England game. In
I
the
love it.
World
Why
Cup.
do you
what
not-
club shirt it was.
Why do you not like it, Abel?
It was Leeds.
I think
There
you're
you
there,
go.
you're there to support your country, to wear the country's colours,
Well, Leeds wear white.
or
and
wear
he was wearing
something
blue.
that's supporting your country. I've been to matches in the past where, for example, at the KC or whatever it's called these days,
Muckama.
yeah, fans have tried to start Hull chants at a Great Britain and Ireland match.
Yeah, I'm not
and
down
I'm
for
like,
that.
no.
Even
It's-
at the
and
MKM.
I've done the same thing at, say, a Leeds match where Leeds fans, obviously there's going to be a larger proportion of fans that are close to those grounds. They're going to obviously the atmosphere can be crap at international matches anyway.
Yeah.
I don't fault them for trying, but that also gets booed down for the same reason of it's not like come up with a better chance rather than trying to recycle your club chants. And I just, as much as I don't hate it, I just don't think it's the right move. I think you should wear your country's colours if you for an international
I
match.
created a discussion that I did not think would last.
What's your opinion on somebody wearing an England shirt that isn't that sport to an England game? So if I wear my England football shirt that I don't own to an England Rugby League game,
I'd rather it was an England Rugby League shirt, but
What if they wore an England Rugby League shirt to an England football game?
that's good.
Good answer. Good
Fair
answer.
enough. Right,
Yeah.
Derby preview, because Susan's losing her shit and we ain't got time.
So on a Rover, I'll lead with this one then. So on a Rover's point of view, obviously no TPJ, no Dean Adley, both going to be misses because Pangai Junior, yeah, he hasn't played himself into a shirt, but also the fact that he is a big unit, is a big forward, which would give us some good. The pack's going to be significantly smaller than it would be with those two in it. Potentially, I've been informed that Jez might be looking at 8 weeks as an injury. Obviously, it's only hearsay at the moment, nothing concrete from the club. But if that is the case, I would like us.
If that's true, then the putting him out the last few weeks has got to be a mistake, no?
Probably. Yeah, he didn't play last week though, did he?
But he turned up with strapping in one match with a lot of strapping.
Lee. He played
it's one of them
against,
things
so.
though. Because it is speculation at the minute. You know, they're saying Sue and Luckley are more likely to be back. Jez, we're keeping it a bit close to our chest because one of the things that's happening is name him in the wider squad, keep teams guessing. I get your point. We talk about players coming out and then maybe they shouldn't. The rugby league players, they're hard, they're tough, they want to play.
They're stupid.
Also, sometimes you exasperate the injury, sometimes you don't, and it works in your favour. He is definitely one of our best players, we've been saying this for a long time. We're a better team with him on the pitch. We also are challenging for stuff this year still. It doesn't feel like it. You know, we've dropped down to like 6th in the league now, but with still a game in hand. There's so many clubs that are on that 22 points mark. The decisions are different to when you roll a player out when you're fighting to stay off the bottom of the league. Or they've been carrying on for several weeks, it's not getting better. It might turn out to be a bad decision if we miss him for 8 weeks, but we'll never know. So I think your point's fair.
It's all hindsight, isn't it? I mean, you can never know with injuries, but just if it is 8 weeks, that's a lot of misses, a lot of missed games for a very good player.
Just in time for the playoffs, baby.
Yeah, I think for us, obviously Barron took his head knock, failed his HIA, so we've lost him. But some potential players coming back that I think will. O'Neill definitely, if he does come back, will make a big difference because that means that we can just slide Briscoe out onto the wing, put Hardaker at centre, and slot O'Neill back in at second row. But the other one, Cust, and the main one for me, if we do get him back, is Bell. Having Bell at 13 to play that ball handling role is huge to the way that we set up as a team and the way that we've trained all the way through pre-season with Cartwright and the way that we still try and play now under Lasty. Ball handler at 13 is a huge bonus for us if he comes back. So fingers crossed for all three.
I want to be wrong about this game.
I hope you're wrong.
Because I'm anticipating it potentially being quite close. I don't know if you mentioned it, Abel, last week before about even during the seasons where Rovers were particularly poor, they managed to find a way to rally for the derbies and managed to win quite a few. And they almost seemed to go against the run of form for the clubs. And then it would happen on the other seasons, the few seasons where Rovers have been the better club, up until the last 3 or 4 seasons where Rovers have definitely been the better club. And yet you guys have not managed to find that. This to me has got the feeling of probably the best opportunity of where I've just got a feeling where it can be that tight game if the right things align for you and we can continue with the sort of mismatched performances that we've been putting in. I know you did it last year, in the Challenge Cup quarter-final, where like there was a good chance and you rose for it, but there hasn't been many. And this just has a feeling of that because we just feel a bit disjointed. You know, I felt we're missing Morg. If we're going to miss Litton, come back in. Hadley obviously is definitely, but we're not really clicking in some ways. And if you learn how to punish, like you probably should have learned this week to punish Wigan a bit more with field position and errors, and you take them with the hype of it being a derby, I could see this being a lot closer than perhaps people would expect.
I would say so. With the players that are coming back,
are any of them confirmed?
No, not confirmed. I think Bell and Cust are more or less confirmed, right, but not definite. Okay. They were potential for this week just gone. O'Neill is a bigger doubt, I believe. Or it might be the other way around. I hope it's not. but I think Bell and Custer are nailed on. If they can slot back in and do a job, I think you're right. This is probably our best opportunity in a couple of years, especially with the players that you've got missing. The fact that we've had a little bit of consistency, our pack's got a bit of size back into it now. Even, I know we've got Lasoni and Sau still missing, but we've got Hill and SASA starting. Matautia, I think, is doing a fantastic job for us on loan from Leeds, and even Laidlaw as a young lad's doing a decent job. But I think this is our best opportunity in a long time to get a result.
I see a red card in this game.
Right then, predictions. So as we've just discussed, Magic Weekend. First game on Saturday, 12:30, Huddersfield versus York. I tossed and turned with this one, but I eventually went for Huddersfield by 4.
York by 10.
York.
By
Done it.
6.
Who's it? York and Huddersfield. I'll be honest. I've been
Huddersfield and York. Yeah,
Huddersfield and York. At Huddersfield, I'm going to
No,
go.
it's not Huddersfield, it's Magic
Magic.
Weekend.
Yeah, but it's all right.
There's only one game that's not there.
I'm going to go York by 8.
We'll explain when we get to it.
Sorry, I haven't wrote. Do you send me them, Susan?
That's all right. Just keep going. We ain't got
We'll
the time
scrap
to
him.
worry
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
Right then, the big one, the derby, the only true derby in Rugby League, 3 o'clock. Rovers FC, Rovers by 8.
Rovers by 14.
I ain't got Deans, so I can't.
I've gone Hull by 4.
Rovers
And
by
it's
2.
A bit
man.
of a prayer, but
Yeah.
you got
I think that depends entirely on who's back. If you're still missing like Luckley and Sau, your pack.
Not so.
So,
Sue, sorry. If you're still making Luckley and Sue, as well as obviously Hadley from the Leeds match, your pack's looking a bit lighter.
Bit lighter.
as
yeah,
we
that's
always
what I
say,
said,
we do
yeah.
our predictions Monday and we don't get to know team news. But I
Yeah.
will say that I know I've just said in the previous preview, I expect it to be a close game. I still think 14's relative to that. I think close, but it's just one of them games where Rovers are only winning by 6. They get a penalty, and there's a try later on that makes the game look further away.
So Susan sent me his, he's got Rovers by 14. Last game on the Saturday at Magic, because there is a little caveat to that. 17:30, Lee versus Warrington. Should be a good game. I've got Lee to cause a bit of an upset, Lee by 4.
I've got Lee by 10.
Warrington by 6.
Warrington by 7.
Away by 7. And Susan's got Lee by 6. So
Interesting split down the fans.
yeah, a bit of a split there. And then 8 o'clock is Catalans versus Toulouse over in France. I didn't get the name of the stadium. I did get the name of the stadium, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to bother.
I love this. I love them playing their derby game in France.
Yeah.
Drag all the fans in.
I forgot.
Fantastic.
I genuinely forgot until you just reminded me that they weren't playing.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, not playing in.
I've got Catalan by 16.
Catalan by 7.
Catalan by 10.
Catalan by 12.
And Susan's got Catalan by 10.
I would have changed that. Now I've realised that Ashall Bolt is banned.
Bot. Not Bolt.
Bot. First game
sorry,
on the
Bolly Ashall
Sunday. Wakefield versus Castleford, 12:30. Wakefield by 8.
Wakey by 16.
Wakey by 14.
Wakey by 8.
Again, and Susan's got Wakefield by 12, so Wakefield across the board there. 1500, Leeds versus Bradford, the return at a Magic Weekend of the West Yorkshire Derby. I've got Leeds by 14.
Leeds by 14.
Leeds by lots.
Leeds by 14. I've already got the email. I've just done them now. Like, I have got Leeds.
Susan's got Leeds by 24. I think it'll be a bit tighter than that. Final game then to wrap up Magic Weekend, the lesser of the two derbies, Wigan versus Saints. Wigan by 14.
Wigan by 10.
Wigan by 16.
18. Wigan.
18, and Susan's got Wigan by 8. And that wraps up predictions for this week, minus Dean's.
Some good splits there, boys.
Yeah, should be fun.
There's not a name next to this, so I'll just do it.
It is your podcast.
It's Susan's podcast. That's what he tells his mum. Yeah. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hype on, well, like and subscribe on whatever you're listening or viewing on, hype on YouTube,
Mobile.
on your mobile if you can, or if you know any other way of hyping, just tell us because we don't know. But yeah, do that. Thank you very much to Scoms. Thank you, because I'm trying to rush. Thanks to Comscaf for sponsoring. Thanks to all the other sponsors, so G and Carpets, Perfect Parking, and to Tribal for letting us DOS on a Monday afternoon when they're not even open. I'm trying to remember if we've got another sponsor. I don't think we have. If we have, I'm sorry. See you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.